All right. Welcome, Mrs. Adetutu Oludare. Welcome to my channel. First of
Thank
all, I need
you.
to thank you for this opportunity. To grant this interview. I'm very grateful. I know you are very busy, and I know you're also on vacation. So I'm sorry to interrupt your vacation. All right. So yeah. I've gotten a couple of questions for you to just shed a bit of more light on them, or just tell us how some of those things has helped you to become this successful in your life and career, so that the viewers and people that are watching my channel can equally adopt some of your principles and become successful. Because the goal is to ensure that we are replicating success. So to start with, can you just tell me and our audience uh, who is Mrs. Adetutu Oludare?
All right, Mr. Johnson, thank you so much. I do not take this privilege for granted. Thank you for extending this invitation, and I'm glad to be a part of this success story as well. Success is a journey, as you know. So I am also still on a journey, and there's so much to do ahead of me as well. So success is a journey, and I'm thankful that you considered it. You thought it right, to have me share the little things that I have done in my corner. So I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, as you said, my name is Adetutu Oludare. I was born in Akure. So just like you would say that you have a very humble background, I do have a very humble one as well. I was born to the family of Mr. and Mrs. I wanted to say Oludare for a split second. Mr. and Mrs. Gabriel Ojo Akomolafe, born in Akure. I grew up in Akure. Akure is a beautiful place, I must say as well. And it was just my parents. I should say I thank my parents so well for being intentional, despite their own background, despite things that they didn't have opportunity to hone or have. They wanted to see the best in the life of their children, and they gave it their all as much as they could. Even at that time, some of the opportunities and the leverage they gave to us, some of them they couldn't really afford. Yeah, but they just went all out to just ensure that their own children didn't turn out the way or turn out better than they were. So I had a very beautiful journey. I went to secondary school in Akure. I went to primary school in Akure. I went to, and then when it was time for me to go to the university, where I was done with my, and I think this may just encourage someone. So since it's coming to my mind, it's okay to share. When I was done with my secondary school and it was time to go to the university, like I said, my parents had done everything they could, to take us to the best schools around, even though they couldn't really afford it, they tried, they still tried to take us to the best schools. So it was now like it was time for me to pay them back by, getting admission to school. And somehow I wasn't just going to get admission. I had passed my SSC and my WAEC. Immediately I did it, but I just didn't pass jump. And then I did it at the first attempt, at the second, at the third. And at the third, I didn't felt like, I was disappointing them, right? You can imagine after all the effort and all the things that they had put in place, my friends and colleagues were already in university and I was not. And then it was like the third year running and I was still at home. And I felt so I wasn't proud of myself, and I was just trying. I was reading for this jam in my own mind or in my own little way, but how much stop us? you know. And then after a while, I remember one of my dad's friend came to the house one day and then said, it's like it's the third year running, Tutu is still at home. What's she going to do? And I felt so, when you're trying to weigh yourself on the scale as a child, that should have brought value, and then the man brought a proposal that they wanted me to go to the Polytechnic, so I don't continue to stay at home. And I felt, me, Polytechnic, how? And I said no to the option that I wasn't going to go to Polytechnic, I was going to go to university and all. And then one of those days, my dad called me and said, Adetutu, don't you think you should just consider, going to the Polytechnic? That maybe after a while you would have, learned, you would be better. You at least you won't be staying at home. It really doesn't profit anyone to stay at home. So I told him that he should allow me to think about it. And that night I remember I started thinking that, okay, so is it that am I now a failure as a child? I should bring back value to this man. So I accepted to go to the Polytechnic, and that I would say is one of the best decisions that I took in life. One of the best decisions that I took in life. As soon as I went to the Polytechnic, I told myself that, okay, if I couldn't add value and give my parents what I should have given them by, just passing JAM and going to university and, at least showing that me too, I'm a good child. If I come to the Polytechnic and I don't do well, then that is when I will have defined myself as a failure. So I started finding success from the Polytechnic. I'm so grateful I went to the Polytechnic. I can't even, those days were defining for me. They were days when I would sit myself down and talk to myself like, Adetutu. You can't come here and not do well. If I was ringing that to myself, I didn't know that it was so much. It had clouded my subconscious. I learned the art of reading. I learned the art of dedication. Apparently it was just the fact that I wasn't dedicated to my studies. I was never in the top 5 in class. I was just always when the position maybe 7th, 9th, 10th, a child like that. I was comfortable with being average, right? But when I went to the Polytechnic, in my mind, I just didn't want to be average again. I just didn't. I felt that, I was a level above where I was. And the only way I could prove that I'm a level above where I think I am now is to be the best here. So I started being dedicated, being focused, studying very hard. And, that was it for me. Apparently, that was what God wanted me to learn, right? God, if I had finished and I had gone to university that way, maybe my story would not be what it is today. I used to tell people that the Polytechnic days was the days that made me, by the grace of God. They were the days that I sat myself down and I told myself that, Tutu, it is possible to do things well. It is possible to be the best in this class. It is possible. If you think that you have gone beyond these people, you think that you are not in their class. If you don't do well here, then you're in trouble. And that was it for me. That was the moment that changed my life for the best. I always say it every time. I'm so grateful that I went to the Polytechnic. I had to say this story just to encourage someone that may be watching, and then you just think that you have a rough start and you're not really getting it. It may just be God pulling you back so that the best in you can be unveiled.
Oh wow,
Thank you.
that is interesting. I never knew you went to the Polytechnic.
Yes, I know you didn't.
Some of us too are poly products.
Yes, I did.
Oh wow. So by the way, which of the Polytechnic did you go?
So then it was I wanted to Obafemi Awolowo University, right?
Yeah.
Then it was Owo Polytechnic.
Oh, okay.
Now Rufus Giwa Polytechnic.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to the Federal Polytechnic at Ekiti. That was where I
Yes. You
started
people
from.
went to the cream schools.
Yeah, I know. Federal Poly at Ekiti was like some of those stuff. They said so.
It was like Yabatek.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't it? They're in the same class.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much for that. I mean, for giving us that quick background. So now um, I know that there can never be success without sacrifices. You mentioned something during the last response you gave about being studious, being focused, and stuff like that. If you look at the spectrum of your success so far, both in school and in career, which we'll still get to, what
Okay.
would you say are some of the sacrifices you have had to make in order to become the woman you are today?
Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm still growing. I still have a long journey ahead of me. But yeah, I'm happy to share from where I'm coming from. It's been a long journey, and I'm grateful to God, like I will always say. But one thing, there are so many things there, but the major thing that I believe that has helped me so far is the power of focus. Is the power of focus. Is that focus is one thing that if people can realign themselves and just focus, it would be amazing. The change they will see in their journey. A lot of people don't achieve success because they can't focus. We just want to do 1 million things at a time. Yes, it's good to be versatile. It's good to want to try different options, but it's always good to also focus. What do you want to do? What's that thing that is topmost in your mind? You have it everywhere. You're waking up to it. You're waking up to a post on your doorway. You're waking up to a post even in your bathroom. You're just focused on that thing. As much as you bring it into your subconscious and you're focused on it, it shapes every other thing because you think about it, you sing it, you walk it, you talk it, and before you know it, you become it. So, and it then helps you, it then shapes your sacrifice. So, to go back to your question on sacrifice, when you are focused on something, there is nothing you cannot give to that thing. You would be willing to give it everything that it takes to ensure that it's a success. So, sometimes we limit ourselves when we are not focused enough on one thing. What's that thing that is paramount in your heart that you want to achieve? It really doesn't matter. A dream is supposed to be bigger than you anyways. If it's not bigger than you, then it's not a dream, right? So once you have imagined it in your heart, and I used to tell people that, it's in the place of your heart or in the place of your imagination that you can be everything. I can wake up in the morning and then say that I imagine that I'm the president of World Bank, right? I imagine that I am the president, whatever it is that you choose to be, you create the image in your heart and then you focus on it and every other thing will follow suit. You sacrifice your time because success itself is I don't want to say time consuming, but it's time demanding.
Right.
Any pursuit for success, anybody that you're seeing that have attained success, it is man hours that has gone into that thing. Nothing drops on anybody's feet accidentally. Everything that I've done in life, they have been focus, dedication, man hours. When men sleep, sometimes you just need to stay awake a little just because you know what you want to achieve. And one thing about these things in life is once you've achieved it, then you rest again, right? God has created rest. We can always at time intervals, we can always find rest. Even if you're no matter how stressed you are today, and I don't mean that people should put things on themselves that they cannot do, no, but then we should learn to stretch. The human ability, we might want to just stay in one corner, put time to it and then stretch. We can expand. There is so much we can be if only we can commit to stretching. Sometimes when you have sat down, you have imagined it in your mind, that thing you want to achieve, you have a picture of it in your mind, and it wakes you up every day. Then the tendency to stretch is already there because you can't see where you want to get to. You already have that picture in your mind. So you want to do everything to get to that set targets for yourself. So, to sacrifice, you must sacrifice your time. You must be willing to do more than every other person. Success doesn't come onto the bed of the sleepers or of the people that just want to be average. I've worked with people that just they don't want more than they just want to be comfortable. They just want to, let me just go to work, have job that I'm doing, and that's all. But no, it's different for people that want to go far, right? It's not about being comfortable. It's about there's something beyond you that is, that just keeps you awake. You know that you're not living for yourself. There's so much that is inside of you that you want to give out to other people. So you're stretching, you're pulling, you're dedicating your time just to achieve that picture. But the reason why people quit is because sometimes the picture that they have is vague or they didn't take time to internalize the picture. Sometimes if you have a picture of a future, you can't sleep. It keeps you awake, keeps you on your toe, and then you will be able to dedicate time to something you can picture.
Wow. Wow, as you are speaking, I'm just following so because you mentioned a part of one of the things you mentioned there, you talked about the power of focus. As because when you are focused on something, that is when you can then sacrifice other things, including your time and
Yes,
stretching, right? That is
yes,
very big
yes,
because
yes,
a lot of us like to be comfortable, just like in
absolutely.
comfort zone. And then we like just meeting. So people just like meeting minimum requirement. As long as I'm meeting the minimum
Absolutely,
requirement, I'm okay. Wow,
absolutely,
and thank you for that.
absolutely.
Now,
You're welcome.
this next question is something that is I know you will be able to do justice to it. You graduated with a first class from Obafemi Awolowo University in accounting. You
Mhm.
finished with distinction in finance and University of Leicester, and then
Leicester.
you're also an
Yes,
FCCA. Now,
yes.
can you tell us how or you have been able to maintain these levels of academic achievement despite the challenges that come with these accomplishments?
Mm, mm. Thank you so much. And yeah, and that's why when we started the conversation, I ensured to mention that I'd failed before. And I ensured to mention that I started my career or my journey in the Polytechnic. Like I said, and I'll repeat again, one of the best decision that I've made so far in my life is to go to the Polytechnic. There, I learned determination. I learned the power of resilience and focus. Remember, I said that, I was just the normal, maybe not so average, but not on the top student, right? But as soon as I tasted success, and one thing about success is it begets more. Success begets more. At the taste of one level of success, you are motivated to do another.
Mm,
It gives birth to another.
mm.
I'm grateful I didn't go to the university first because I would have just gone and I would have just done normal. By the time I went to OAU, I joined OAU as a direct entry student, and majority of the things that we were doing as direct entry that they were doing what I'd done before, right? I'd learned a lot of those things. It was just almost easy peasy for me, right? I just filled into it. I tasted success. Okay, so let me finish my Polytechnic story, right? By the time I was finishing from the Polytechnic, I graduated as the best female student in my class. um so I was already, I'm like, oh my god, so I could do this, so it was easy for me, right, to take my results and then want to use it to do direct entry. Of course, that the story of my direct entry is another story. God just wanted me to go to OAU. That I must say again. By the time I got to OAU, there was no how I was going to drop from being the best female student to then being just normal, right? That 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 trajectory was already there. So I just continued. I'd already learned focus, resilience, how to stretch, extend. It was there. And I just continued in that line.
Mm.
And then God has just been faithful. He has always crowned my efforts with good success. I must say, the staying power. I learned staying power. So I remember when I used to go and read in OAU, I liked the library. I liked the library in OAU. Could stay 8, 9 hours and read for a stretch without stopping. Right. And it's been God, I must say. Then the truth is that we must always also help people to understand that the little of the things that we did that helped as well, right? Because of course, without God, there's nothing that we can do.
Exactly.
Ultimately, it is Him. But then, that power of focus. I just pick the book, read. I'm like, okay, you can even read and understand. It became sweet to read, right? Carry my books. I can read. I read well ahead of the class sometimes, or even if it's during exam. I liked the style that we had in OAU. There was always that time when there was no lectures and you could, quickly, get down to your book. Of course, you will have been reading and then you would then consolidate. When I get into the example, I'm like, okay, these are things that I've read already. I get to do it and all. So by the time I finished, in fact, my graduating from with a first class in OAU was God as well. God finished and perfected everything. So by the time I was done, I started immediately I was done from school. During my service year, I started my ACCA. And the story of my ACCA is another interesting journey because I started when I was 7. And as a copper, I even started before I started shortly before I went for service. Yeah. And then I went to serve as a copper. I was earning 50,000 naira. And I was working in Guarantee Trust Bank then. And then that money could not even pay for my ACCA exams. It won't pay one paper. But I was focused and I used to write 3 papers together.
Wow.
And I wasn't getting funds from home again. But God was just there with me all along. I'll just carry 3 papers and say, okay. So when I started working, God has also placed men across my path. I met my current boss then. He came to OAU for a conference, and I was supposed to be part of the ushers that would be in the conference that would work with him and all. And somehow I slept off. I don't know what happened. So I just woke up that, ran to the hall and they were almost done with the program. And then I told my friend that I wanted to meet the man that came from Guarantee Trust Bank then, and I wanted to talk to him. And then they said, that's why they wanted me to do Osha. You want to talk to this man and you're late and all. I just felt, okay, please let me just talk to this man. And, he had people all around him trying to, preserve him and all of that. And then from afar, he just saw me and said, let the young lady come. And I went to meet him. And then he said, oh, how are you? I just said, I just wanted to meet him, that we had a program in my own fellowship that I'd like him to come for, if he doesn't mind. I wasn't even thinking about job then. I wasn't thinking about life after school. I just wanted someone. I heard that the program was good. You should come and replicate it in my fellowship, RCF. And then, and that was how I built the relationship with him. And it's been over almost 15 years. I worked with him initially, left him, and then I'm back to working with him now. That's another story. So God has constantly placed men that were willing to help and support me along my way. I started, like I said, I did my my ACCA. I wanted to do ICANN, and then I had people around me. They told me, okay, do for international relevance that I should do ACCA. So I said, okay, no problem. I got exemptions, started my papers. Before I was done 7, I was almost done with my foundational papers because I'll just do 3-2 and then I'll just pass the exams and I'll just, I'll go read. Like I said, there's nothing good comes easy. I remember then we had a place in Synergy Professionals was where I started my HCA classes. We'll go sleep over and we were working. All the exams that I've done ever since I finished school, I was working and I was doing them alongside. Someone had asked me one day that, how do you do it? I said, even me, I don't know.
Wow.
But it's just that will to want to do. I did all my professional exams while working. I was working with them. I would read early in the morning. I remember there was a time I was even staying as far back as Ikotun. I would do Ikotun VI. I'll get to work very early. Sometimes if I'm not too tired, I sleep. If I don't want to sleep, I read. I just ensured that. And then when we're done, when we're closed for work, maybe like 7, because of traffic, we already know that the road will be blocked. And then, God has also helped me. I know how to switch. Once I'm done with work, I close work, I switch to book. I read like another 2-3 hours in the night before I go home. And then so that when exam is near, I'm not overburdened. All the exams, even my MSc, I did it while working. There's not been anyone that I have said, okay, pause work and then just face it 100%. So I've just had to juggle the balls together, and God has been faithful.
Wow.
And I've also committed to it. I believe so.
Well, and that is interesting. I mean, you are hitting some points there that a lot of people might not really know, because you said something the other time that sometimes you read for 8-9 hours stretch when we were in OAU. And sometimes when I tell people that I read for 10 hours straight, and then you come out and say, "Wow, yeah, you had good grades." There are sacrifices. Those are some of the things that you have just mentioned.
Absolutely.
I mean, thank you. I mean,
Absolutely.
and then working in a country like Nigeria and going to school or writing exams, I know it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. Now,
It's a lot of work.
this one is very, I mean, I love this. I read somewhere, I think I picked it from somewhere, and I learned that a few years ago, you were the first credential holder of Advanced Financial Modeler certificate in the whole of Nigeria. Please tell me, what does this mean to you, and how did that happen?
Okay, it means a lot to me. If I would say that to you. And then how did it happen? So, like I said, my journey has been a very interesting and it's been filled with God's favor, I must say. Um, I worked in an institution, and I'm proud to mention the name of the institution on this call with you because that institution gave me leverage in life, I must say. I worked with Stanbic IBTC, and that year we were to go on trainings, right? And they had asked us to look for our trainings, and I'm like, okay, I wanted something really different. I didn't just want to do. It's an institution that was committed, is still committed to ensuring that people are trained. Capacity building is a big thing for them. So and then I already said it. I am always very intentional about whatever I do. So as we were starting the year, I was thinking, so what are the trainings that I need to go for this year, and which one would set my career apart and set me on the path for greatness. So I just did my research. I asked for training materials from HR. Are there places that I've sent ahead to you to review? I looked at it. I really didn't find anything interesting. Then there was, I don't even know how I got this Brown consulting. Then I can't remember clearly where now. I just saw their training calendar, and then I saw that there was a financial modeling course that was the first. It was the first even in West Africa at that point, and first in Nigeria. So I'm like, okay, what does this entail? They said, okay, that you'll be taught how to model typical financial statements for institutions through cash flow predictions, through projections. And I'm like, oh, this sounds very interesting. And then they now said they had exams. So I sent it to HR. I said, okay, this training on this that would projecting financial statement because I'm an accountant, I'm a finance person. So I just wanted something different and something that could add value. So HR got back to me to say, so the training you chose has an exam certification. Maybe they said it. I'm sure the person that sent it to me thought I was going to say, no, exam. It's an exam certification, and that they were happy to pay for it if I wanted to do it. I said, really? That's how long, I looked at it. It's going to be a 4 hours dedicated based exam session on Excel and all. I looked at it. I said, yes, I'd like to do the examination. They said, really? He said, yes. That HR said they were going to pay for it. I said, then it's fine. I'll do you proud if you will pay for it. So, I went on the lesson. I was doing one Easter in 2018. Yes, 2018. We went for a 1 week focused. It was maybe like 10 of us, everybody just trying out new things because it was very new in Nigeria at that point. The appreciation wasn't, there's a lot of people now, are already in appreciation. The appreciation has grown, and then a lot of people are now AFM holders. We did the exams and then we did mock. So one thing that I realized at that point is back to dedication and focus again, right? And remember that I was doing this and I was working. So my usual model, in the night, I would read, take time to read things that were learned. In the morning, if I can as well, I'll take time to read, focus, I'll practice. So I saw that it was an exam that was based on how much you're able to practice, because you have 4 hours to do something that typically maybe those an investor analyst and all the people that do models, maybe they would do it for 1 week or 1 month or something, but you're supposed to do this and be able to prove that you understand the skill and you're able to do it sequentially in 4 hours, right? So it was 3 hours, then 30 minutes for the preliminary session, and then 3 hours 30 minutes. I think it's now 4 hours. So I started practicing. So they gave us pre-type mock. They were questions from the institution as well that we could practice with. And then D Brown also helped us with all the practice. So I started timing myself. I'll sit at home, I'll carry my things. So I took a 1 week vacation, carry my things. D Brown gave us access to their building as well. So I go there very early in the morning. I'll time myself like I'm doing exams, sit under exam conditions for 4 hours. Then because I knew the exam was 4 hours, I wanted to do it faster than 4 hours. So that when I get to so I'm not planning for 4 hours and then I'm not able to meet up with. So my target was usually about 3 hours for 5 minutes. I'll sit down, read the model from A to Z, ensure that I'm not only finishing, I'm also getting it rightly because there are marks, the way your balance sheet is. Don't let me bore you with our accounting shenanigans, right? But, there were things that they wanted to check. So I would do it. I had done it like 6-7 times before the exam. So I had done it over and over, different questions, different models, and build scenarios. So by the time we're going to the exam, of course, as with every exam, you still think, hey, how is it going to be? How is it going to be? And I just wrote the exam, not in the class of about 10, or is it 10 or 7 now? Maybe just 5 of us wrote the exam, and that year it was just me that passed the exam. It was phenomenal.
Was a big deal.
It was everywhere. Had interviews with different people because I was the first in Nigeria, first in West Africa. It was just everywhere. I was surprised myself because I wasn't out to say, and I'll be first in this thing. No, I just wanted to, starting from wanting to do a training to knowing that it's an examination that I will have run away from. I just gave it my best and then God crowned the effort. So
Wow.
everywhere then, it was just everywhere. And thanks to Stanbic IBTC, then, like I said, they paid for it. The skill is mine for life, but then they paid for it. It was a big thing for them as well. I was celebrated even in the institution at that point, and it was a good one.
Wow,
Yeah.
fantastic.
So,
Fantastic. So let me say congratulations again.
thank you.
All right. You currently work as the chief financial officer of a bank in Nigeria.
Yes.
To me, I don't know. I know it's a big deal to work as a chief financial officer of a bank. Uh, what 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 did you do, or what did you not do to arrive at that point, at this point in your life to become a chief financial officer of a bank? Yeah, you play if you can spare us some of those big jargons from accounting, but just for the benefit of those that are here now, you can let us know how long it took you to get here. But what are those things? Just highlight them that got you to this point. Because to me, I know it's a big deal to be a chief financial officer of a bank.
Okay, what did I do? What did I not do? Honestly, I owe everything to God because it wasn't like I just like I'm a dreamer. I like to dream. I like to write things down, focus, and my husband won't even let me if I don't dream. So I like to just, think about things that I want to do. I remember that, shortly before I got the role of the CFO, we went on a prayer retreat, and then my husband had said, okay, so I want you to write down what you think you want to, the things that you have in mind that you want to achieve, and in the next 5 years, I want to look at it. I want to think about it together. I want to know how I can support you in this journey. What can I do to, continue to support you? My husband is very supportive, I must say, thanks to him. What can I do to continue to support you to, and then it's someone that just sees better than I see on myself. There are things that he told me that I was going to do maybe 5 years ago. I will have taken it with a pinch of salt, and today I'm doing them because he saw it. So that year he told me, oh yeah, let's write it down. Let's look at it. Let's plan. So I just thought about it. Then I was still working in Standard Chartered as head of risk and controls for West Africa. So he told me to write it down. I'm like, okay, what after this my role? What else would I want to do? What else? Okay, so I said I wanted to be the CFO of a fintech. Imagine, I just wrote that I would like to be the CFO of, because I felt it was a very tall dream, right?
It
That
is,
even
and
if
it is.
I was if I was going to be CFO, maybe I should start with fintech now, right? Before I will move to microfinance, then I will move to a national bank. But yeah, I just felt that yeah, there's nothing God cannot do. It is my dream board. I can write anything I want there.
Mm.
So I wrote there that let's be CFO of a fintech. I wrote date I wanted to, I just wrote those things, I shared it with him. He looked at it, encouraged me, told me the things that he still wanted me to do that, would help me to achieve the dreams that I had written down and all. And in 1 year, one year, 1 year, that dream was becoming a reality. I remember when I got the call, I thought it was a dream. Like, are you kidding me? CFO of where?
Wow.
How? How? And it takes me to the power of what I'm a Christian, right? I believe you are as
Yeah,
well,
I am.
right?
Proud
I know
one.
you are. I don't believe. you know, as a man thinketh in his heart, the Bible says, so is he. There's the power of what we see ourselves becoming. And that's I thought it was going to be of a fintech. I didn't know it was going to be of a national bank. When the call came, I just busted into tears of joy.
Mm.
Like, is this how God works? Is this how things just things that you just thought that you were just dreaming about, and then they become your reality just because you're focused at it? I must say that um everyone, people are looking at you. People are watching you. When opportunities will come, it's going to be a function. Sometimes, you already said it that time. Some people just want to do the bare minimum. Just let's collect our money and go home. You know, those extra efforts that you put in. And I'm not saying that we should suck up to people. I don't do that. I'm not saying that we should do eye service. I don't do that. All I do is anything that is named me has to be done excellently well. I give my very best to everything I do. I bring my A game to the table every time. And every day, I want to be better than I was yesterday. I am my own competition, no other person. I have people, I have mentors, I have people that are ahead of me that I admire what they have done. I love what they have done. And yes, I want to work in some of the parts that they've worked in, but I'm not in competition with anybody. Every day, I wake up wanting to be a better version of me. I just want to be better than I was yesterday. So everything and everybody that I've worked with, all the bosses that I've worked with, all the people that I've worked with, they always will want to work with me again because of the ethics, the job culture, the focus. I just bring my very best to the table at every time. I didn't know. So fast forward to how the referral came, it was someone I had worked with and I had mentioned that I had worked in at the very elementary part of my career. Now, if I would say that, if it's people that know me, that have watched me grow, that seen me that seen my, let me say, little managerial skills being displayed in me, right? If it was them, right, that was bringing this kind of proposal or that was inviting me to do that. I said, okay, maybe they know me, they understand my managerial skills, or they've seen me lead a team. And so, but this is someone that knew me when I didn't even know anything. That
Mm.
just gave me, that just lent a hand to me, right? When I was just, I'm always very hungry. When I started my career, oh God, there's nothing I cannot do. Just name it. And then I'm trying to think about what I can do. I'm asking questions. I'm, making research. All my senior colleagues then, I was always on their neck. I'll ask them, oh, so how did you do this? How can I do this? I just want to learn. I have always been hungry. My advice to anyone listening to us today is never stop being hungry.
Mm.
Just let the quest to want to be better. Let it always be there. That was what I was as a very young person. I just wanted to learn as much as I could. I put my head in every and anything that was, of course, job related, my job or the job or finance. I wasn't going to limit myself to or I just want to do management reporting, or I just want to do financial reporting, or I just want to do regulatory reporting. Everything that I knew would make me a balanced finance person, I was ready to put my head into it. And I was learning and I was growing. So it was someone that knew me from that very elementary stage that was bringing this referral. I remember that I called and I said that, when I was still trying to wrap my head around it, how did you think about it's been me? Would be, that you're recommending for this role out of all the people that I know, you and I know that you could even, give. And then he said that I spoke to your former MD. I'm like, wow. So people are watching. As small as all those things are, someone that is all the way up that you think does not know you may just be taking a note. You don't know who someone is going to call to ask about you, to say, what do you think about this person? What do you think? What's your idea about this person? They say, oh, excellent, take this person, or no, don't go there. People are watching. Don't do eye service for anyone, but then be at your best so that when the time comes, when a role is opened and your name is mentioned, there's a relational currency that can say, please give her, she deserves it. Oh, give her, I can vouch for this person.
Wow. That is a big one. I mean, one of the things in the answers you have given so far, I'm seeing a pattern. I'm seeing something that looks like a system. Now, this is going to be maybe a preliminary conclusion. Will be that you have a system you have developed that worked for you while you were in the Polytechnic. You deployed that system when you got to OAU. It worked, delivered the results.
Yes,
you are refine, improve that system. You deployed it when you started your career until today. They are still working.
It is still working.
It is all about a system, developing a system and deploying the system.
Absolutely.
Success is guaranteed always.
Absolutely. Always.
Wow.
Always.
Oh, that is a big
Once you find it, you hold on to it, and you like you said, continue to refine it, because that's human for you.
Yeah.
Times changes, things changes, and then you are very you're easy, you're flexible. Yeah. And then you incorporate those changes in your existing system, and then you keep growing with it.
Wow. A quote comes to mind now, based on what you said regarding your CFO referral, and that is the fact that when opportunities show up, it will be too late to prepare. So in your own case, I believe that you had prepared and then the opportunity came.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very important. There are people that doors have opened to them and they have not been able to maximize the opportunity just because of insufficient preparation. In life, it is very important to prepare. Sometimes you just carry yourself in the capacity that you're not working in yet, right? But then just because you know where you want to go, just because you are mindful of your future, you are working in that consciousness. So when that opportunity now comes, you are prepared. You're well prepared. You step into it. Of course, every role has its own challenges, right? Yeah. There is no level, most especially for me, I have a very big stature. There are places that, you just walk into, and then I remember I had once visited some people, and then I'd introduced myself. I went with my MD, I'd introduced myself as CFO of the bank, and then the person on the other side asked again that would like to know who the CFO of this bank is. That's it. The person just looked at me and said, like the CFO. I said, yes, ma'am.
Like the CFO, yes.
So we still have you should never be intimidated by anybody. One thing I've always told myself is the God that opened this opportunity is able to sustain me through it, right?
Hallelujah.
And I walk with that consciousness every day. And God has been faithful.
Fantastic.
I must say, so I just walk in the consciousness with my head very humble, going in my own way. And by the grace of God, I've been able to deliver value in the last 1 year. It's been 1 year
Wow.
already.
Wow.
And it's been a very fruitful journey. I'm thankful to God for every step of the way. It's been Him.
Wow.
I give God glory to God. Yeah.
I have a couple of questions more before I allow you to go.
Okay.
I know you are very busy, and
It's fine.
yeah, I know. I know you are a pastor's wife, and you are also a home builder, and you are successful in your career. Can you speak to a young lady out there that is now saying, "Oh, I would like to be like Tutu when I grow up"? What would you say that lady? How would you say that lady should go about fulfilling that goal? I know you have said a lot, but now looking at it from the lens of a pastor's wife, one, home builder, and a career woman. So those are different hats you are putting together. Please advise a young lady.
Okay, dear young lady, you are not alone. And the hat you're trying to wear, people have worn it effortlessly, and you can as well. So just first of all, put your mind at ease. One challenge that people have is to first of all think it's not possible. My dearest young lady, it is possible. We can combine it all together. It's never going to be easy. No one is going to, I'm not going to stay and tell you that it's so easy, simple. No. But with the commitment in your heart, you can do even more. There's this power that God has given to every woman. Is the power to wear different hats effortlessly. I always refer to the Proverbs 31 woman. Go and check the Bible and read what the Bible said that woman was doing. It's like doing 38 jobs, if not more. And she was excelling at everything. She's waking up early to spin. She's the one that is planting. She's the one that is, she was doing everything. For me, that's what I remind myself of every time. If there is a woman that the Bible, that could be recorded in the Bible, a balanced woman. The Bible says her price is far above rubies. She's virtuous. She's waking up early to spin. She's making width. She's knitting. Go and read that place again. Please don't let's just read it for spirituality. It is a beautiful description of a career woman, of a woman that is thriving at home, of a woman that is thriving in business, of a woman that is thriving on all sides and had a balanced home. And her home wasn't scattered. See, the decision to grow in your career is not the decision to lose your marriage. People have said that, there are people that are career women that are doing very well and their marriages are not lost and they are not faking it. They are not faking it. There was one day I heard a conversation that someone was having and they're like, hey, and I'm like, no, you need, just choose what you want to do. We started from a picture. Dear young woman, paint a picture of a home that is beautiful in your mind. Wake up to the realization of it every day that I want my home to work. Of course, there are sacrifices you have to make. Everything. If you want a good marriage, it is hard work. You want a good career, it is hard work. You want anything, a good business, it is hard work. So yes, we have committed to living and working very hard. Anything we want to do, but the grace of God is sufficient for us.
Wow. Thank you.
You
Thank
will
you for
not
that.
lose one to gain the other.
Wow. Wow.
You will not lose one to gain the other.
I know the young lady out there is hearing this and it's like, yes, I can do it.
Yes.
I have one more question, then I'm gonna wrap up with one more thing.
Okay.
You have grown over the years in your career. You have grown over the years in your academics. Is there anything that, if given opportunity, you would like to do in a different way? If you want to share that with us, fine. If there's anything that you feel like If given the opportunity, you would do or approach differently?
Yes, there are things that there are so many things that God has helped me to do rightly. And yes, there are things that I just believe that if I had known, maybe I would have done, way better, right? So maybe when I started my career, if I had known, maybe I would have just taken things a bit more easier, right? I just I should have just taken it things a bit, not to be complacent, not to be lax, right? But to just have, maybe just calmed down a bit more and just paced myself a bit more and then still run sweetly, right? Maybe I will have just been a bit more cautious, and then taking it a step at a time, as case may be. I don't have regrets, right? No regrets. But then maybe I will have just been, taking it a bit more easier, right? Most really focus a bit more on the home front as well, and then combined it better. But God has been faithful to me, and then sometimes God just helps us to erase and should I say erase? Helps us to um not erase is not the word. Helps us to manage things, right?
Manage, okay.
Better.
Yep.
Just helps us to manage things better than we should have. But one thing that God has helped me to do is I've not left one at the expense of the other. I'm a
That's
very spiritual woman. I love God.
yeah.
And I've not left serving God just because I'm in the career. In fact, there are times that I just sit down and I don't know what to do, and I just blast in tongues like, God, you sent me here. What do we do?
Exactly.
What shall we do?
Yeah.
And before I know it, and just a wave of peace comes, and I get the answer to what I want to do. So I've not because, and as I am like this, I try as much as possible to model Christ in everything I do. At work, a lot of people that don't know me too well, some people just say, pastor, you know. I don't, it's not like I carry placard on my head or I go to go on preaching from one person to another. But
But,
then
but by
I
their fruit,
try
you shall know them.
exactly. I remember there was one day I was at work and the Holy Spirit just laid it in my heart I think it was to give coffee to someone. I'm like, I don't understand this one, or coffee. Everybody has coffee machine there. Coffee machine is behind us. Everybody can go into the coffee machine, go near
Get
the coffee
coffee.
machine and make coffee for themselves. Why do I have to go and make coffee and then give someone?
Hmm.
I struggled with it. Like, okay, good. What if he does not want it? What if he did not take it? Well, all those,
Hmm.
questions just kept coming into my mind. I'm like, God, just have mercy.
Hmm.
And I think eventually, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember very well, I just said, okay. And then I just handed it over. And you needed to see how that simple obedience broke through.
Wow.
And then we started talking. And then, that was when I realized what God wanted to do and how God wanted to do it. So, in everywhere we go, we keep shining the light of Christ because we're children of God. And just those little small promptings, we won't say because we're in the market. In fact, we're the pastors in the marketplace, if you
Exactly.
would imagine, because
Exactly.
there are people that you will not be able to, your pastor will not be able to reach that you can reach, right?
Hmm.
Because you speak the same language, they understand your terminologies,
Yeah.
they understand, you have the same body language, you understand the same things. The tendency for them to hear you, to see you, and see Jesus in you is closer than for their pastor that they won't even
Exactly.
see until Sunday.
Hmm.
So we must continue to model Christ, and so I like I said, maybe just a bit, just calm down small. That's what I would have done better.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I mean, on the last note, um, I know that part of the reasons why I set up this channel is to encourage a lot of people who might be going through what we have gone through,
Mhm.
right? And we have been able to come out and get to this level. So if there's going to be any parting words or advice you are going to give to somebody that you have not mentioned, I mean, or that you want to reiterate,
Mhm.
especially African folks that think, yeah, Africa is backward. I want to do this, I want to do that. What will be your parting word or parting advice to somebody who is confused, not knowing what to do about life, living somewhat from a family or a background that is not what he had actually wanted, right? If he had to change it, he would have loved to change it, but now it's there. What would you say to such person as we part?
Okay, thank you so much. I'd like to encourage everybody that has a very humble beginning, that, it doesn't seem to be as smooth for you right now. As much as you can't do anything with your background, you can't change what your background is, but you can change the outcome of your background, right? The things that come from it is in your hands. Please don't continue to put your back on the ground just because you have an humble background. Dare to be different. Focus, build a picture in your mind and work at it. Of course, be prayerful. Of course, everything we do in life, without the help of God, all these things that we're saying, we won't be able to see it. Ask the Holy Spirit, ask God to help you through your journey. And when God has decided to help you, don't keep going back. Oh, it is my mom. Oh, if my mom had money, if we had kiniko, all those things that people just like to be querying. And, I studied when we started that I was born and bred in Accra. Accra is for people that grew up in Lagos, they don't even think Accra is a city. We'd say a city. But you can't continue to blame your parents, blame your father, blame your mother for not having money. Someone said that at 30, that you are now the background. So you had the one that you need to make up your mind that you will be different. Make up your mind that things will change with you. Make up your mind that you will thrive. There is the power of the things we see in our mind. Honestly, we can't even overestimate it. And then please be positive with the things you say. I always tell people I don't keep negative people around me. In fact, even my friends, we don't joke with, I don't have friends like that. You know why? I believe that the words of the mouth are very powerful. Already, the background is already on the ground. You want to be in wrong word to bring it down again. No, be positive. Embrace change. Look forward to opportunities. Prepare. At every point in time, look yourself in the mirror like you are that thing that you have always prayed for. When your prayer is answered, don't have, I always like to use the story of Joseph as an example. He knew exactly when they told him to go and see the king. He just quickly went to shave his beards off. He appeared prim and proper. He was just ensure that at every point in time, when opportunities open up to you, you are prepared. Build all you can. Pray like you're not going to work that you're not going to pray. You're going to do those things like one is not dependent on the other. Be focused. Please try as much as possible. God will help you. I know that, you can be watching this and say, I'm sure it's God. Yes, nobody is taking away the peace of God. But God is also not angry with you. He's not angry with you. He's going to help you. If he has helped some of us, who says he won't help you as well? He will help you, but be prepared, be focused, be determined. Give it all your best. Work on it like your whole life depends on it. And you will be here being interviewed again like this and sharing that God has been good to you.
Wow.
So please, God is faithful and he will be faithful to you as well.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adetutu Oludare. I am really very grateful for this time. Thank you, and please enjoy the rest of the vacation and have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.